There is something I watched happen at hundreds of traffic stops that most drivers never notice, and I stayed quiet about it for years.
Not because it was classified, not because I was protecting anyone, because it was uncomfortable to say out loud. There are things you absorb from years inside the system, patterns, habits, instincts that are difficult to name once you are standing on the other side of it. Things that feel almost disloyal to say. But staying silent when the information matters is its own kind of failure. And I have been silent long enough.
Because once you understand what that moment actually means, you will never sit in that driver's seat the same way again.
This is one of the hardest things I've had to say on camera. I spent years on the other side of these encounters, watching them begin before the driver had any idea they had started, watching people make the same small, understandable mistakes under pressure, and knowing exactly what those mistakes were going to cost them before the stop was over. Not because those people were reckless, because nobody had ever told them what I'm about to tell you.
I know what the officer is watching. I know what gets noted before a single word is spoken.
Here's what happens. You get pulled over. The lights come on behind you. You pull to the shoulder. Your hands find the wheel, your heart finds your throat. You watch in the mirror as the officer steps out, walks along the side of your vehicle, and before reaching your window, places one hand on the back of your car, specifically on the taillight. You feel it, a small contact, a fraction of a second, and then they are at your window. Most people never think about that touch again. Most people think the encounter started when the officer spoke. It did not.
Most drivers do not give that moment a second thought. I am here to tell you it deserves your full attention.
If this channel is protecting you, subscribe now. Someone you know needs this too.
The taillight touch leaves the officer's fingerprint on your vehicle independently of any dash cam or body cam. That is the official reason. And it is real.
But there is a second thing happening in that same moment. When the officer walks to the back of your car, they are watching you. Through the rear window, in the glow of their patrol lights, they are reading your body before they ever hear your voice. Your posture, where your hands are, whether you turn to look, whether you reach for something, whether you go still or begin moving. All of it registers before the window comes down and before either of you has said a word.
And most people, in those 3 seconds, most people move, they turn, they reach, they shift. All of it visible, all of it logged before the conversation begins.
The encounter has already started. That is the core danger. Not the taillight touch itself. The fact that most people do not know the clock has started. By the time the officer reaches your window and opens their mouth, you may have already shaped the direction of that stop without realizing it. The first impression is formed in silence, in movement, in the 3 seconds most drivers spend doing exactly the wrong thing. Now let me walk you through the system. Not just one phrase, a system. There are 3 conditions that make this traffic stop more dangerous than it looks. The first is no stillness. When you move in those 3 seconds, any movement, any reach, any turn, you create a behavioral record before you have said a word. The officer has logged what your hands did before you could explain anything. You cannot walk that back. The second condition is no awareness of the question behind the question. When the officer leans into your window and says, "Do you know why I stopped you? Or where are you coming from tonight?" Those are not small talk. They are the beginning of the record. What you volunteer, what detail you add because you are nervous. All of it enters the encounter before you understand what is being established. The third condition is consent, given through silence or assumption. You do not have to say yes to give something away. If the officer's hand moves toward your door and you say nothing, the moment can shift from a conversation to something else before you have had a chance to understand what just changed.
No stillness, no awareness of the question behind the question, no clear response when clarity is needed. These are the three conditions that make a routine stop dangerous.
So what do? There are three protective actions, and they begin before the officer reaches your window. The first is full stillness, hands on the wheel, both of them, visible, not in your lap, not reaching for anything. You let the officer see a still driver from 20 feet away. This is the most powerful thing you can do before a single word is spoken. The second is to announce every movement before you make it. When the officer asks for your license and registration, you do not simply reach. You say, "I'm going to reach for my registration now." Slowly, stated, visible. This is not suspicious behavior. This is safe behavior, and it is verbal record. The third, don't answer the origin question with detail. Where are you coming from tonight does not require a timeline. A short, calm answer is a complete answer. You are not being evasive. You are keeping the encounter from expanding before you understand what it is actually about.
Now here is the phrase, before your hand moves, before you start explaining, before fear turns into permission.
Officer, I want to cooperate. My hands are on the wheel. What do you need from me? That is it. Calm, visible, direct. You are not challenging anything. You are not quoting a law. You are not making a threat. You are telling the officer exactly where your hands are. And you are asking a question that requires a specific answer. I know what you are thinking. That is it? Yes. That is exactly why it works. Because it does not escalate. Because it slows the moment down before the moment can run forward without you. The power is not that it is a loophole. The power is that it changes the encounter from automatic compliance to stated reason. Share this with someone who drives alone at night. They may never have heard this before.
But there are three ways this encounter can be pushed out from under you, and you need to recognize them when they happen.
The first pressure tactic is urgency without reason. Go ahead and step out. Just hand me your phone. Come on, don't make this harder than it needs to be. These phrases make a voluntary request sound like a mandatory command before you have had a chance to understand the difference. When something feels like it must happen right now, that is exactly the moment to slow down internally. The second is casual conversation used as intake. The officer leans in, tone easy, asking questions that sound like small talk before ever stating the reason for the stop. And because the tone is relaxed, you start talking, you add detail, you explain. And that explanation is the record, whether or not it was framed as an official question. The third is using your movement against you. If you already reached, already shifted, already opened glove box before being asked, the officer may reference that behavior. The pressure comes from the implication that your actions already signaled something. This is why the stillness matters before a word is spoken. So here is the path. If the officer gives you a specific, stated reason for the stop, you cooperate. Fully, calmly. You announce your movements. You do not reopen the question once a lawful reason has been given. If the officer's answer is vague, routine, just a check, I will explain in a moment. You use the follow-up. Officer, I am not trying to complicate this. I just want to cooperate correctly. Can you tell me specifically what you need? Stay still. Stay even. Do not raise your voice. If the officer becomes irritated, you do not match that energy. You do not debate on the side of a road at night. You repeat cooperation clearly. I am not resisting. I want to do this correctly. Prioritize safety. Physical safety first. Commit the words and the sequence to memory. Document afterward. Now the 3 mistakes that destroy the protection. Because I've watched people lose this in real time, and it never happened because they did the wrong thing deliberately. It happened because they were under pressure, and their body got ahead of them. The first mistake is moving while asking. You say the phrase, "Hands on the wheel, what do you need?" And then your hand drifts toward the glove box because asking the question made you feel like you already had permission. The movement cancels the pause the question was meant to create. If you move while asking, you have given away the stillness before the officer has had a chance to respond. The second mistake is over-explaining the origin question. You answer where you were coming from, then add context, then mention you had a drink 2 hours ago because you want to seem like you have nothing to hide. That sentence was not required. That detail is now part of the encounter whether you wanted it to be or not. One short answer. No elaboration unless you are directly asked for more. The third mistake is saying the right words in the wrong tone. The phrase works only if it sounds like a calm person asking a calm question. If it sounds rehearsed and defensive, if there is sarcasm or irritation in the delivery, the words become something different. Practice the tone, not just the sentence.
Now there is one more part, and this is the part most videos skip entirely. What if it is already too late?
What if you already moved, already reached, already answered more than you should have, already said yes to something before you understood the question? You do not panic. Panic is the thing that turns a recoverable moment into a worse one. You do not start retracting statements rapidly. Retracting creates a new record where your story is changing in real time. You do not grab anything. You do not escalate physically. What you do is slow down. If you are asked a further question, I want to make sure I answer that correctly. Can I take a moment? That is not evasion. That is precision. And when the encounter is over, you write down everything. The exact sequence. What was asked first. What you said. What the officer said. What officer's hand touched. That record belongs to you. And it may matter in ways you cannot predict from the side of the road. Let me show you 2 versions of the same stop. Version 1. You are driving at night. The lights come on behind you. You pull to the shoulder. You place both hands on the wheel. You do not reach. You do not turn. You watch the officer's hand touch the taillight, and you stay still. The window comes down. Before the officer speaks, you say it. "Officer, I want to cooperate. My hands are on the wheel. What do you need from me?" The officer states the reason. You respond. "I am going to reach for my registration now." Slowly. Visible. The stop moves through its purpose. No expansion. No extra questions. You pull back onto the road with your record intact. Version 2. You pulled over and reached for your phone before the officer approached. The window comes down. First question. Where are you coming from tonight? You start answering. You mention the friends. House. You mention you had a couple of drinks earlier, because you want to be honest. That sentence was not required. You are not legally obligated to detail your evening. And that detail may now shape the direction of the next 5 minutes. What you do next? Officer, I am not trying to complicate this. I just want to cooperate correctly. Can you tell me specifically what this stop is about? You stop adding information. You go still. The encounter does not reverse, but it stops accelerating. And stopping the acceleration is sometimes the best version of a moment that has already started moving in the wrong direction. This is not about fighting officers. Most officers at a traffic stop are doing exactly what their job requires. A calm driver who announces their movements, asks one clear question, and cooperates without over-explaining is not a problem for anyone in that situation. Rights awareness is not disrespect. It is the ability to stay composed when the moment is moving fast. The goal is not to win. The goal is to get home safely and leave a clean record of what actually happened.
Hands on the wheel, both of them. Visible. Officer, I want to cooperate. My hands are on the wheel. What do you need from me?
If the reason is clear, cooperate fully. Announce your movements. Do not reopen what has already been answered. If the reason is vague, I am not trying to complicate this. I just want to cooperate correctly. Can you tell me specifically what you need? If the officer becomes irritated, do not mirror it. Stay even. Safety first. Memory second. Documentation when you are clear of the moment. 3 mistakes that cost people. Moving while asking. Over-explaining the origin question. Saying the right words with the wrong tone. And if it is already too late, do not panic. Do not retract wildly. Write it down afterward. Preserve the record. Send this to someone who drives alone at night. Send it to someone who does not know what that taillight touch means. If it has already happened to you, comment the city and what the first question was. Because those patterns matter. And this community is stronger when we share what we actually experienced. I did not record this because I wanted to make something viral. I recorded it because composure in the first 3 seconds of a traffic stop is something nobody teaches. And the absence of it costs people more than they ever expected over something that started as a routine stop on a quiet road at night. The phrase is not designed to help you win an argument. It is designed to help you keep control of your voice, your record, and your safety in the one moment where panic makes most people give all 3 away. That is why this needed to be said.